Hi, instead of my usual review, I've been asked my records, and it's going to be impossible to do all my records. I've got lots of records, different types of records, all over the place. So I'm just going to go through what I think are my sort of like collection sets. I've probably even got ones that could fit other categories, but I'm just going to go through the ones I think are my collections. Northern Soul. I love Northern Soul. Got quite a few Northern Soul ones, and this is one, Stompers, Floats. And I guess I should also always show the back as well. You can see the sort of range of selection. Obviously, maybe not so easy to particularly see the individual titles. Motown Floor Shakers. I quite often pick these ones up. So I think this was probably from one of my local Oxfams. So again, one of those great collections. You think, yes, I will get those. Some of the tracks I've seen. Of course, that's always the problem when you go for any of these collection ones. Quite often you think, oh, you know what? I've had those before. This one, I think there's a lot of material here I haven't, and I'm quite certain there's... Now, I'm not a mega reggae fan or Trojan, but at the same time, it's great to get a nice collection. I've got a lovely book about Trojan records, and it's just was great to get this. So I listened to loads of great tracks. There's quite a lot of tracks. Many of these are like 2 or 3. Some are 3 or 4. There's a whole variety of ones, and I've got some that are even more than that. I just got this one recently. Am I Dreaming? It's quite an unusual one. Quite often they also come with booklets, so they're always quite good. I love reading all the booklets, all the various things. It also mentions a lot of records, and the trouble is, you of course, end up looking for those records. Many of them, such as this one, I don't know, there you can see there, out of print or not so easily available. But still, you get a decent selection. Now, a lot of people turn around and criticise these ones because they've got, obviously here's the track listing again, but you get a very sort of paper sleeve. I don't really have a problem with that. It doesn't really, so 3 CDs and quite often a reasonable price. Well, I'm quite happy with that. And there's a variety obviously of different companies. So this one, I think this one is Cherry Red. So Cherry Red is one that obviously comes up a lot. Now I've got lots of these ones, well, not as many as I probably would like to get because there are many of them. But this one, Chet Baker, I love this sort of material. Chet Baker, just brilliant. And it's also a collection, 10 CDs. Well, actually, it's got 17 original albums on. And you can see the listing on the back. It's a variety of different... Now, I don't really know because I haven't got the originals, so I can't say whether these ones are exactly the same as the ones, obviously, that were released. I assume they are. It doesn't come with any information, which is always a pity. You just get the sleeve. So let's just open it up and just show you. You get these. So you get a CD sort of collection like that. So that's that. But it's still really, and generally for only, £10, £11, £12. Now this collection, I think, is really excellent. Love these ones. The only thing is, quite often it's very hard to work out which ones, when you're looking online, which ones are which, because you've got like New Wave 2 and various other ones. And they don't really give much information on the cover, and certainly they really try jazz on film, that's about it. But there's a lot of these ones, and I love soundtracks. Got lots of soundtrack albums and things, and just always great. And again, these follow a similar format of obviously these paper sleeves, but you can see the list in there of all the various. And also you get these lovely booklets that are just fascinating to go through. Certainly are interesting in their own right. Always brilliant. Lots and lots of New Wave films. I love New Wave films, French New Wave films, always fascinating to watch, as well as listen to the music. And there's another one, New Wave. So you can see you've got jazz in camera and a whole variety of different ones. And again, a lovely box, probably about 10 or 12. A lot of, let's just go through it quickly. You can see a pile of CDs for about £15. Can't, The Hustler, Satin in High Heels, I Spit on Your Grave, those ones. Was that a French New Wave film? It might be. I have no idea properly. I Love Stax and those sort of soul style ones, and this is obviously a selection of instrumental soul style, and you've got a whole range of different sort of bands there, and obviously other singers. Many I've never heard of. I mean, there's some really unusual ones that you think, oh, you know what? Now, of course, if you're a mega fan of this, which I'm not, I mean, I have no idea about all the variety of acts that came out. I mean, I'm a member of a soul choir and I love singing soul music, and it's really given me a lot of exposure to lots of different songs and things. So it's really quite good to go through all these sort of old records. And this exposed a lot of sort of thing, oh, you know what, I remember that song, or I've never played that song, I've never heard of that song before, or that act. These ones are quite good. Soho After Dark. This is 50s modern jazz scene. Then maybe not for everyone. Again, it's got 2 discs on there. You can see a variety of different, obviously Ronnie Scott, you've got Tito Burns, Johnny Dankworth, all those sort of people. And I love those ones. And this one's a great one, Psychedelic Jazz. Now, this is not a huge collection. This is just a 1 CD collection, but really great, weird and wonderful music on that. Now, this is part of a series of ones, and they went for an odd sort of format. I don't know why they weren't consistent, like a Soho 61, 62, but sometimes they were single, and then sometimes they were not. So here's the collection for 61. Again, it's got a great sort of wonderful, obviously, a little leaflet there of lots of details, which is always great, and a really brilliant set. Soho Scene 61, but there's also 62, 63, etc., etc. Here's one. Soho Scene 59 and 60, Jazz Goes Mod. Again, I love that sort of period, that sort of music. And this one's got 4, but this is Jazz US, Jazz, obviously British Jazz, Jazz US again, and British Jazz 59. Again, lots of similar. That's the trouble. Sometimes you get them and you might find you've got the same material, and it's always possible. And of course, there's always YouTube and other places to listen to the music as well. But I quite like these sort of, it's like going on to various radio stations and you listen to a particularly curated sort of music. This is how I look at these. And this one's the London American. There's lots of these sort of ones. I don't know particularly how they go. This is 62, but there's obviously 61 probably and other ones. I obviously sometimes choose a particular year, and I'm just going to go with that one. So this is disc 1 and disc 2. But these are really, really nice ones. I just got this, I think, about 2 days ago. I haven't opened it yet. I haven't listened to it. I'm certain it's going to be amazing. And again, part of that Jazz on Film series. Really brilliant series. Sadly, they seem to have stopped doing them. I don't know if they have, but there was loads of other ones. Polish films, Italian films, loads of other ones. Some are quite expensive. Some still go for a reasonable price. But this Jazz on Film, this is TV series ones. So you've got 50s and 60s US detective series, remastered, collected here. Also got scores and etc., etc. And you've got the details there on the back, The Naked City, The Untouchables. Lots of these old TV series. I mean, you listen to quite a few. I listen to lots of, and I'm often listening to the soundtracks. I love listening to the soundtrack. And I think, oh, wouldn't that be brilliant if that was available? Quite often you get the theme music, but you don't get the rest of the music. Sometimes you might get sort of the music from sort of CDs. You used to get lots of LPs like that, the music from a particular series. But of course that was very selective, and sometimes your favourite piece probably wasn't on there, and you think, wow, I love that bit. That was brilliant. Here's another one, Soho Scene 58. I think that was the earliest, 58. And it went from 58 to 67. I don't know if they're going to continue. Why not? 68, 69. I assume there was a jazz scene, obviously. So maybe the material, let's hope there's more of those. I just think this is a brilliant scene. I really love the booklet. The booklet comes, there's some really great sort of, I love gives the whole atmosphere of that time. And it's just fascinating. And you got there, obviously, other ones they got on that label. Really, really good. There's another one. This one is Soho Scene 66, 67. This is the last, as far as I'm certain, Jazz Goes Mod, Soho Scene. And it goes all the way through Stan Tracy Quartet is the last one there. But again, brilliant, brilliant collection. Love lots of these ones, and there's been millions of these. And again, it's one of those ones where you've got a lot of overlap. And I love the feel that some of these were just recorded once or twice. Someone would go in, record it, and that was really the career. They might have been recording in different places or going to clubs, probably singing in clubs for ages. But one or two records, and that was it. And then some of these collections are just great. And you think, never heard of these people. But again, they always have great booklets giving lots of details. And you can see the long list, like Donna Lynn, Sandy Williams, Barbara Mills, Vicky Hill. Some people say, yes, they were mega. Obviously, they were not up there with like Petula Clark, Dusty Springfield, etc. But they were, they were great records. Really, really great records and really brilliant songs. And no, some you will never listen to again, but some you think, what, that was a really great song. Why wasn't that in the charts? And likewise, this sort of one. This is another one, similar sort of, Put a Ring on My Finger. Another one, mid-60s. And again, lots and lots of similar sort of ragdolls, Barbara Bennis, lots of acts that I've never heard of. Susan Terry, Jean and the Statesides, I assume obviously that's an American one. So that's a recent one I bought, 35 Glorious. And there's a couple in the series of these ones, so they're really quite interesting. Again, another Soho scene, 63. Love the covers. The covers are great as well. I love that sort of style. Now, 62, Jazz Goes Mod. Just brilliant. And what's this one? This one, oh, I love French music as well. Got lots and lots of these sort of French. Whenever I've been abroad, picking up, you go round and I'm often picking up records, French records and Italian records and those sort of things, and Spanish ones. And these are great, lovely collection of French. Now, not obviously all my favourite ones, but this is 1950s, 1960s. I loved a lot of the ones that I used to watch a lot of French TV, and there was a M6, I think it was M6, was like the music channel, and that was amazing for lots of great sort of, you think, wow, what great songs. And also a lot of the, actually saying that, the German ones are quite good on YouTube. Beat Club. Beat Club's a great one. You go on Beat Club and the sort of acts you see from the 60s and 70s, and those sort of disco 75 and things, just brilliant, sort of really obscure ones that unfortunately Ready Steady Go and Top of the Pops, we destroyed lots of that material. Sadly, because I think, and the only way you can see it now is obviously German or Swedish or whatever. Now this one is, again, another Soul City one, and there's a series of them. I think there's Soul City, Detroit, Los Angeles. This is a Big Apple one, and you can see, look at the great one, Ike and Tina Turner, of course, Shep and the Limelights, Sam and Dave, I've heard of them, Screaming Jay Hawkins, Isley Brothers, Dionne Warwick, Tommy Hunt, and so on. So again, a great collection of music there. Another Northern Soul you got here. And again, there's probably going to be overlap with these, but these, real nice collections of Northern Soul music. Oh, breaking my rule on not going to be, because I've got lots of collections, of course, of various bands, but I didn't want to go, so I was Burt Bacharach one, Essential Recordings. But in many ways, that actually I'm not, because of course Burt Bacharach, a lot of these were obviously recorded all the other ones, so there's 3 CDs really full of some really amazing, absolutely brilliant music, and this is definitely essential recording for anyone that loves the music of Burt Bacharach, and I think he just produced so many great. This is a lovely collection. I don't know if there's ever going to be a 66, 67, I would love to see it, or a 64 box of pin-ups. Obviously David Bailey, that sort of thing, is obviously the start based on that, but it's just, what a great collection of brilliant 60s, mid-60s UK bands, like this one, Zoot Money's Big Roll. Just amazing bands. Just there, the Downliners Sect, the In Crowd, the Yardbirds, lots and lots of the Primitives. No, Bone Shaker. That's what, there should be a collection of the Bone Shaker. It's a band of mate back in the 60s. Beat Girl. John Barry, again, it's just absolutely superb. I love this film, Beat Girl. Just brilliant. Absolutely, the music in it is just amazing. The film itself is it's all over the place, but it's still, actually, it's got, I think it's Adam Faith in it, isn't it? It's Adam Faith. And it's, I don't think he sings on it, but he might do, I don't know. But I love the music all the same. The music's great. And this has got a great collection of the music. This one's lovely. I love 70s. Obviously, I grew up in the 70s. The 70s music was just, I just listened to it all the time. And I bought millions and millions of singles, lots and lots of, obviously, LPs as well. And obviously listening to the radio all the time. John Peel was my favourite, of course. That was always 10 o'clock in the evening. I love that. And you got here, this is Superstar 70s. And again, you can always get overlap. But this one's got some unusual stuff. And I mean, I loved Denise Williams' Free. That was just great. But you got, there's some I've never heard of. Shuggy Otis. Don't ask me. Obviously, Harry Nelson, Without You, of course, that's famous now. But obviously, Dolly Parton, I think I've heard of her. Albert Hammond. But there are a few on here you think, just not ones that regularly turn up. So that's Superstar 70s. There's another one here. Oh, this one's a good one. Oh, I just got this one fairly recently. Maybe not for everyone, but I love that sort of 50s, 55, 56, 57, that sort of period. And that's what it is. Nice to Him, Mama. More early Brit girls, and it's just got a great set. Petula Clark, of course, Laurie Lee, Patty Brooke. You've got Shirley Bassey, Cleo Lane, Nita Harris, and so on. Great collection. I mean, there's about 68 brilliant tracks on that. Just great collection. And I think there's another one very similar to that, which I haven't got. I love this sort of music. Boogaloo. Just ready, steady boogaloo. What a great one. Now, this is not a huge collection, which is busy. It would be nice if it was a 3D box set as well, but still got a decent selection. And I love the blue covers. I don't know why. Just covers are always great, aren't they? That's really good. Another 70s one, Buried Treasure. I think there's another Buried Treasure one I haven't bought. Unless I have bought it, I don't know. But this one, Buried Treasures, and Treasure. You've got Roxy Music, ELO, of course, obviously fairly well-known ones. I mean, but some of the songs are not so well. You've got Sarah Brightman. This one, Adventures of the Love Crusader. I've never heard that one. Anyway, I'm certain probably as soon as I play it, I will probably heard it. Now, when I play these, I'm very selective. I just go through it, and I might play half of a CD, then play another half of a CD, start from track 14. So I very rarely go from one all the way through. So this one, the Motors, I remember them. They were great. Ultravox, Yellow Dog. No, they escaped me. Boss Scraggs, Patti Smith. I mean, one obviously not because of the night, of course, but you've got here Frederick. Everyone's going to say, of course you should know that one. Can't know every song. There's millions of songs. Solo Scene again, 64, 65. Again, brilliant one. I love this one. I love the film. Don't know, saying that, when I rewatched it recently, I wasn't so... I think sometimes you have to be in the mood for a film sometimes. American Graffiti. But the music, I love the music. And I love all this style of music, this sort of silhouettes, the Five Satins, and Buddy Knox, the Del Vikings. Lots of great music on that one. So that's a really worth getting, American Graffiti, I think. I love these ones. Classic girl groups, 5 classic albums. These collections are just great. Because sometimes you might find 2 or 3 that are really good. Sometimes there's ones that you think, oh, why did they include that? But it's a sort of, obviously, you can see a great selection over that whole CD. And obviously they've got, I think there's others in the series as well, I think. Digging Deeper, 70s. Again, you can see, obviously, a thing of the 70s. Lots again, 3 discs. And this has got lots of things like Tony Orlando, I mean, and Dawn. I love those. But a track, What Are You Doing Sunday? Middle of the Road, brilliant. And Boney M, Painter Man. See, that's not a Boney M song that I'm that familiar with. The New Seekers, of course. Dollar, Who Were You With in the Moonlight? I remember that one. The Dooleys, Tina Charles. I love Tina Charles. Dr. Love. That was good. It was not a mega favourite of mine, but it was okay. You got Barry White, The 3 Degrees. Again, Take Good Care of Yourself. I mean, it's okay. Obviously, it's one of their up there. Kenny Rogers, The Gambler. Obviously, some familiar ones, but also some that are not so familiar. Elkie Brooks, Sunshine After Rain. I just recently bought one of the Elkie Brooks ones of a collection. Can't remember what the title. Runaway, I think it was. Whatever it was. Sunshine. It was. That's about 30 odd tracks as well. Just great, and it's also got some of her really early work as well, which is really nice. Why that's not available, I do not know. Oh. No, that's Luna. Sometimes I've got ones I think, oh, why have I got that in there, in that pile? It's all going to fall over now. Another one of these box sets. I love these box sets. This one's the Roaring 20s and Crazy 30s. Maybe not for everyone, but there's some really great music on this. I absolutely love it. Really, really bounces along at a great pace. And I love this sort of style of music. And this collection's just superb. 10 CDs, you can see the whole range of different tracks. Again, it comes sort of, and you can never open. One trouble with these packs, often it's very hard to actually open them. But again, you've got the paper sleeves there, you can see there. That's all you get. You don't get any booklets or anything, which is always a pity. Maybe a 5-page booklet would be nice, but still, that would add a bit more to the cost. I think it's just great. Likewise, this one. This one, however, is original albums. Blue Notes, just great. Blue Notes label produced so many brilliant masterpieces. I've got quite a lot of Blue Note ones that are separate. Well, this one is the 17 original albums on the CD, and I absolutely love this one. So this is a great collection. I think there's a couple in the series. There's 1 or 2. I think one's quite expensive, so one's become, and that's the trouble with a lot of these ones. Again, you've got all the collection there. You can see sleeves. If they go out of print, sometimes that's it. They end up 50, 60 quid or whatever, or a lot more. So, of course, if you really want them, and you could always argue that to buy them individually, to go and buy those albums, they would be quite expensive. So, and likewise these, definitely, because a lot of these ones, 5 soul superstars. These are their early ones. Aretha Franklin, James Brown, Jackie Wilson, etc. Ike and Tina Turner. Just great. Just a great selection of these early albums, which, again, you could buy individually, I'm certain, but expensive. Oh, this one, another What Made Mods. Great selection of music. Obviously the blues, lots and lots of absolutely superb tracks all the way through this. You've got Soul Twist, King Curtis, Solomon Burke, you've got Byron Lee, Don KV, and many, many, many others. Lovely, brilliant collection. Again, it's always the trouble when you get these ones, is that you might find you've got overlap. There's always going to be someone who says, oh, but he's got 10 tracks that I've already got. That is always a problem. And there's always going to be music. You think, oh, I've heard that one, that song 55,000 times. I picked this one up on eBay. I think it was eBay. It could have been Amazon, but the Complete Stax Vault Soul Singles. This is volume 2. There is a volume 1 and volume 3. And I think there's also a volume 4, which has got more sort of like rarities and unusual material. But this one's 1968, 1971, of course, classic period, and just full of some just absolute amazing songs. And this was reasonably priced. It was quite cheap, and I thought, just have to buy that because it's just brilliant music all the way through. Also got a brilliant booklet as well. Substantial stuff. I haven't got many like that, those sort of massive big volumes, but well, 75 modern songs, sounds. And this one's got a great collection. Again, I've probably got some song elsewhere, but still brilliant. 75 classics all the way through. Obviously, there's always going to be a few songs that you just pass over. You think, nope, I don't particularly enjoy that one. But I think there's a fair number, and I love putting that one on. It's great. Likewise, this one, get it right way around, 101 Stacks. I think it's just a great collection. I think you should be able to pick this up. Virtually all these ones are still relatively easy to get. Though some of the box sets might be a bit of a trouble. I don't know. Some of the, obviously the ones like this sort of thing, some are starting, I noticed, going out of print and a bit harder to get. So certainly worth checking them out if you want to get them. And this game's got 101. Just great selection of songs all the way through. Now, there might be a little booklet with this. No, don't think there is. There is a booklet. I can't see it at this precise moment, but still. And this, you can see the other ones there. 101 Disco Classics. God, I love Disco One. 101 Kid Songs, Power Ballads, and so on. It's a superb selection there. This is another one of those ones. This one's 100% or 100 songs. This is actually a Spanish one I picked up when I was in Spain, and I love the great. It's just got superb music all the way through. Oasis, Clash, obviously London Calling, Canned Heat, Don McLean, American Pie, all the classics. Just brilliant. What's this one? Oh, this is another one. These 71 pop albums strike back, and I think I've got another one of that sort of series. And you can see the range of things. Dead End Kids. You've got Dana, Perry Como. You've got Neil Sedaka, Laughter and Rain. Of course, songs that are very well known, or good old More by Andrea True, and Boney M, Brown Girl in the Ring. I remember that one, that was good. Backer, Sorry I'm a Lady, not one that's played that often now, but still, maybe it is, I don't know, I haven't. And of Shang-a-Lang there, Basically Rollers, and you've also got Sweet Ballroom Blitz, and many others. Obviously fairly well known songs, those ones. Now this one, another Jazz in Mod, again, obviously got lots of great records, so this is a 2 CD one, and see there, Jazz in Mod, or Jazz in New, I should say. Mod from the jazz side. They all got very similar titles. You end up sort of saying the wrong one. Anyway, it's so fine. I couldn't find this one. Unfortunately, when I've been moving around and I'm often just declutter things, and sometimes I think, oh, I don't want to get rid of it, and because they've got great songs on it, and I sometimes just put them in sleeves. I shouldn't. I should just keep the boxes as well. But sometimes, that's why I like them about the modern style ones. Now, you get these sort of style ones. They seem to take up a little bit less space. Sometimes like the older ones CDs that used to have were quite chunky. Now they're a lot thinner. I like that because really, you've only got a thin little CD, and sometimes it takes up so much. It's so fine. Disc 2, no idea what's on it. That's the trouble when you put it on sleeve. You think, why didn't I keep that's probably in the disc 1. I'm certain I did. I wouldn't have thrown away the cover. Because likewise this one, Leaders of the Pack, and that, of course, because it does, of course, gives the listings on the back. Sometimes it doesn't, then you think, why did I throw it away? Because then, of course, you have no idea what the tracks are, but this one does have a little booklet with all the details. It says hopefully, because otherwise I just have to put it on and play it. should be fine. This one, Brazilian music. I love Brazilian. I love doing dance. I'm sort of into samba, carnival, bossa nova, all those sort of things. I love Zumba. I love Zumba. We quite often, a lot of Zumba, we have this sort of similar sort of music, and I just love listening to this style of music. This one's a great one. And the reason I got this one was mainly for one track. My mate, Bone Shaker, he was the singer on this. Bone Shaker, Sweetness. Really, really good track. He's in our choir. I love, and the Kent Soul Choir, love that song. And the other tracks on it are brilliant as well. So it's a really good. All the young droogs, obviously from a certain, but this one, 60 June. Now, again, it's one of those annoying ones, and you can never open. Sometimes they're very tricky to open, but it does list other albums. And it's all like disco, glitter, all those sort of things. And I looked for those, Velvet, and of course Tin Mine, and they're very hard to get. In fact, virtually impossible. And also 20 Bubble Pop and those sort of ones. So, but still great. Oh, here's the one I was thinking about. I mentioned earlier. I get lots of these ones. This one, was it Mojo? Yes, Mojo. I love it. And I haven't bought it yet, and I keep pondering whether I should get it or not. Written in Their Soul. This one is just a sampler, but it probably has the 15 best tracks. I don't know. It certainly has a good selection of tracks on it, and it's a really brilliant sampler. And that's quite often I pick up lots of these ones because they're just great selection of music, and you think, well, the actual magazine's great, but also the records as well on there are just brilliant as well. Wigan Casino, there's a whole series of these. This one's a Soul Story Volume 4. I think I've got a couple others. You've got obviously Wigan and other ones as well, and you can see the list there. This one's only got one CD, but still great selection of music on there. Mod Anthems, there's also Mod Anthems 1 and 2. Again, just a long list of selection. I'm not going to read them all. It'd be half a day, wouldn't I, going through every single track. Quite often I really like looking on Amazon, obviously, and other sites where they've got the listings. So you can look down this. I'm always assuming that they're 100% accurate. But when it's nice just to see the listing so you can think, oh, you know what? Oh, that's interesting. That track's interesting. That, Of course, sometimes it's not. And you think, and quite often I like to say, go off and look on YouTube just to quickly think, oh, you know what? That album, that music sounds great. I will get that box. This one, another one of these sort of, I love these ones that are associated with a record label, and just great. This one's disc 1 and disc 2, and you've got here loads of acts, most of them Cadillacs. Obviously, I've heard of them, but Yolanda and the Charmaines, never heard of any of these ones, but it's just a great selection. Again, it has, I think there's a booklet in this. There should be, no, it's not. It's just got a list in details there about the label. But I love label ones. They're just great, and there's lots and lots of these ones where you pick up. And I've got similar ones here. This one's a great one. Not really a label one, but Mod, the early years, 112 classic rare tracks. And there was quite a few of these ones, collections, and you can see obviously there's so many different labels that produced always great. And I really genuinely would love to see more of those sort of ones in this sort of collection, just to get the whole run of them. Now, of course, not every song is going to be great. Some songs are, you think, oh, but still, there's always some gems in there. And that's the thing about it. You go through them, you think that song's brilliant, you play it to death then afterwards, and then you get bored with it. But still. And likewise, this one. Now, I've got volume 2, and I've got 100. I don't know if this is volume 1, but I think there was a couple of other ones in the similar thing. They were, I can't remember the reason why I didn't get all of them now. But 100 classic and rare tracks again, a whole range of great songs. And I suspect if I look for volume 1 or volume 3 now, it's probably a lot more expensive. This one's great. Easy Project, Lounge Core. I love that sort of stuff. I loved it back in the 60s and 70s, that sort of style of music. And this one's got not a huge selection, but 20 tracks in that style. Absolutely beautiful music, and not for everyone, but I love it. Billie Holiday. I love her music. I bought loads and loads of and annoyingly I had the LPs, lots of the old, very old ones that, they were really battered condition. They were terrible, but they were just brilliant listening to those songs. And this one's got to the CDs, and 100 Years of Lady Day, 15 original albums. Again, just some of these ones, obviously songs for Lady in Satin and so on. Just great stuff. Velvet Mood, Lady Sings the Blues. Just brilliant, brilliant albums. And here's another one. Oh, this one, The Police. Again, sort of broken my thing about saying, but still, this is a really nice collection of all their records. So, or certainly the 6, and great selection of tracks there. As my quiz flying off. This is an absolutely lovely one. British Beat Girls, live on air, 1965, 1970. Just full of some really great songs all the way through. And also lots of information, brilliant booklet, and much, much more. Really worth checking out this collection. This one's interesting. I wouldn't say I like every song. I do love that sort of American Los Angeles 1965, 68. Quite a lot of great tracks I've bought over the years, many, many LPs of this sort of music. Obviously Mamas and Papas, Beach Boys, etc. And also there's lots of fairly obscure ones that I've never heard of. The Misunderstoods, the Odds and Ends and so on. Obviously there was, what was it? There was Nuggets. I bought that one. That was, of course, Nuggets, and then volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a whole load of them, but it's lots of great tracks. But it is really great that they're bringing out these sort of collections of all these tracks. I love listening to them. I say, not everyone, masterpiece, but some, they've got, you know, they're of interest. And disco, this is the final one, Disco 75. Just a brilliant collection of disco music. And lots of these ones I think, oh, I wish I'd bought more of the singles, more of the LPs. But over the years, I've bought lots of singles and LPs. And I've generally got rid of some, kept some, got rid of some. That's always the way. It's the same with CDs. I've got rid of those. So I had a lot more CDs over the years, but most of them I've got rid of just where I've moved around and all those sort of things. But still, I hope you found this of interest. What sort of records have you got? Have you bought many of these sort of box sets ones? Do you like the box sets, or do you really dislike box sets? Do you just listen to all your music online? Do you just get only LPs? I haven't bought any new LPs. I must admit, new LPs seems to be, I mean, I bought lots of LPs over the years because at one time you get them for 20 pence or, you know, 10 pence. I mean, I still buy Oxfam ones. You get the lovely collections of various records, and just some of them are just great. Normally scratched to death. That's the usual. That's the trouble. And sometimes they're only great because of the covers, because really the records are coming. But you can pick up in like Oxfam stores, like some of the 1950s ones, really great covers. Unfortunately, they always put the stickers right on the centre, which is annoying because if you slide to try, you should never do that. Obviously, there's techniques I'm certain online. Check that out. But it's, you know, always remember when you get that, don't pull it off, because quite often the favourite bit of the cover usually, still completely irrelevant. Talking about, see, have you picked up any of these? Let's say, do you like these box sets at all? Do you get annoyed with the fact that they're just paper sleeves? Do you think they should do other things with them? Do you prefer bigger format? Do you like this format? Love to know your comments on that. Bye.